This video on FPL TV is very proudly sponsored by OneFootball. With a rating of 4.8 out of 5 from now over 100,000 reviews on the App Store, OneFootball truly is the biggest and best app for football news, scores and stats from hundreds of leagues all over the world. As for FPL, you can choose to follow every team in the Premier League on OneFootball and then get live updates from all the goals and assists every game week. Download it now completely free using the link in the description box below. Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. So the day is finally upon us, and that Game Week 1 deadline to open a brand new season of FPL has arrived. In this short video, we're going to see how my team selection currently looks for that all-important deadline, and then discuss any potential last-minute tinkering. If you tuned into my updated draft video a few days ago, then I'm pleased to say despite a lot of consideration, there's been minimal changes since then. The only change I've made to that draft is a switch of my budget 4 million goalkeeper, with Brighton's Jason Steele replacing Ben Foster. Of course, the likelihood is I won't need to use either of them, but I figure if my set and forget goalkeeper Sanchez does get suspended or injured, then his deputy at Brighton would then hopefully come in for him, thus instantly giving me a £4 million playing goalkeeper as backup who can then come straight into my starting 11. A pretty sound plan, I think, at least whilst Brighton's other goalkeeper Sherpen remains out injured. So let's see again how this side is lining up for Game Week 1. When I look at the fixtures amongst this squad of players in the opening game week, there's really not much that I don't like, with no less than 5 of my players facing newly promoted opposition. I've also still got the West Ham double up of Ben Rama and Antonio facing Newcastle, and that's a fixture I'm certainly hoping for some returns in. This isn't just a side that I picked solely for the opening game week either, with the majority of this squad having a really nice opening in the first 3 or 4 game weeks. So all I'm hoping is this team can do me a job over those opening few weeks, whilst us managers adjust to a new season and from there start to identify the teams and players in form. There's always an abundance of uncertainty at the beginning of an FPL season, with no form to go off, a lack of indication on the fitness of players, and also of course players transferring clubs. And I think that's why I ended up swaying back to getting Bruno Fernandes alongside Mo Salah, just for that extra security of a player that I know will feature in every minute to start this season. For the captaincy this week, since making my first draft video a few weeks ago, it's been on Mo Salah since and hasn't moved, so it's likely just going to stay there now. I just spoke about the abundance of uncertainty at the start of the season, and the Egyptian King feels like a nice, safe and reliable option against Norwich. Statistically, a good chance of returns there surely. Last season, I did feel I played it quite safe a lot with captaincy, and often chose what looked to be the most obvious option each week, very rarely giving it to anyone but the premium players. And to be honest, my season was still pretty bang average. So with that in mind, I may be a bit more flexible with the captaincy this season, but for Game Week 1, like I said, with no form to go off, Salah and Bruno look to be the reliable candidates, and they both always provide us with a good failsafe. Now, as much as I'm looking pretty set on entering Game Week 1 with this squad, if you are new to the FPL TV channel, what I want to say is that sometimes in FPL, decisions really can come down to the very last few minutes before the deadline. At least they can with me, because we never know what new information may come available before the game week starts. So, although the chances are this will be my starting Game Week 1 team, I'll be posting my locked-in team lineup over on Twitter if there are any sudden changes of heart. So let's talk about a few of those considerations now. As the game week deadline draws near, I'm slowly getting more swayed into including Brentford's Ivan Toney in the squad, especially since now the manager has confirmed he'll for sure be starting against Arsenal, as there was a bit of doubt before. His goal scoring record last season really speaks for itself, scoring 33 league goals including the playoffs, and not to mention 10 assists as well. That really is a superb return. And when I think at how Pukki burst onto the scene at this price 2 years ago, it really does make me think, even more so with Toney also being a top draw penalty taker as well. My ways of including Toney would either be downgrading Danny Ings, which I really don't like, or instead getting rid of Luca Digne, using the extra 1 million that I've currently got banked, and then switching to a 3-4-3. I think the other glaring omission in my squad is, now without Riyad Mahrez, the complete lack of Man City coverage. And with a home fixture against Norwich in Game Week 2, it does seem a big shame to go into that fixture without any of their players. Managing to fit Mahrez back in is looking very difficult at 9 million. However, at the same price of Diogo Jota at 7.5 million, Ilkay Gundogan is certainly a player I'm strongly considering, who last season when De Bruyne was out really stepped up to the plate. With De Bruyne now set to miss the start of this season, can Gundogan produce those incredible numbers once again? I think the only other thing I don't like about my side currently is the fact I'm nowhere near close to fitting in Son Heung-min, a player that I always like to own in FPL. However, with Spurs facing Man City in the opening fixture, then followed by a trip away to Wolves, I think I'm okay going without him for now. I just feel like I'm not sure what to expect from Spurs to begin this season, and although he should be on penalties if Harry Kane moves away, I guess I'm hoping that the lack of creativity without Kane could really hamper Son's output. Hoping being the key word there, as he's no doubt a solid option. So that's my final team selection video for Game Week 1 and for pre-season. As mentioned, if I do make any last minute changes to the side, I'll be sure to post it over on Twitter shortly before the Game Week deadline, but hopefully I can hold true and stick with this squad. Good luck to all of you watching for Game Week 1, and here's hoping for an exciting opening weekend to the Premier League. It'll be really great to see and hear the fans back. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed. You can also hit the notification bell so you always know when a new FPL TV video goes live. FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all very soon.